And then I meant to do one for Sasha. I hope the guys get
I'm
the other
back.
ones built.
Welcome back, Ika.
So,
Hey, Ika, we're at the 3 hours. Do you want to go for the fourth hour?
Yeah, I could do one more hour and then I had to leave.
Okay.
I find, yeah. I feel that kind of solidifies my decision whether or not we need to try to muck around or if
And
we need to.
Darian, are you there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm right
Yeah.
here.
Most of them are used to us going over our 3 hour limit, but just to explain, sometimes when we get to the 3 hour limit, we ask if everybody wants to continue and we go longer depending on how everyone feels. Are you good with going longer?
Yeah, I'm fine. I have a lot
Okay,
of time on my hands right now.
cool.
Also, no hard feelings about Cog being like, "What the heck are we gonna do with an elf?" That's just a Cog thing.
It's all role play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm back.
no
Welcome back,
Welcome
no
Ika.
back.
no weird feelings on that. It was just
The cog he's distrustful of organics, as he says.
yeah.
All right.
Hmm.
I guess we just did save an elf and not talk to it.
Yeah. I like how we referred to it as an it. just Azrael and Cog talking like, yeah, I guess we just saved an elf. Yeah, I guess we haven't talked to it yet, have we? It's like she's right there.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I'll say that
Yeah, I
that
was
Diana
wondering if
showed a
anybody
bit
was
of
going to talk to her.
disgust.
Sorry?
I'll say that Diana showed a small bit of disgust with that conversation.
That's a fair response. That's a fair response.
Well, we can talk more after.
We figure out where we're going. So
Yeah.
I kind of feel if we only got an hour left, I that pushes me a little bit more toward just staying the night and heading back to Valaki. But
I feel like Cog just wants to live in Valaki.
well, listen, every time he comes back, there's a mountain of crap he's got to sort through.
You're like you're converting to Fiona's viewpoint. You're like, oh well, he's the lord of the land. We'll just leave him alone.
well, that's so within reason because Cog does feel that Cog is kind of torn in the middle of like, well, maybe he could be negotiated with, and I'm probably gonna have to kill him down the road, but that's okay.
I think Hector might have been okay if he didn't hear Strahd saying he was going to try to conquer beyond the mists.
Yeah, true. He is ambitious.
And I do think that also proves, forgot his face, the commander guy. That proves him wrong as well.
Honestly, I
Yeah.
feel that if we were to put a bag of holding, the box of holding in the bag of holding, and give him the box bag of holding, and send him to the alternate realm, I feel like in the grand scheme of things, that would work out because he'd be able to go somewhere else and conquer that and be free of this little bubble he's caught himself in.
Well, if he's bind to this land as like a curse, I imagine he would like just come back immediately or just not go.
And I mean, that's usually the cheesy way
Yeah.
to complete a campaign, so I feel like that wouldn't really work.
Also, Mel has stuff in her bag that's precious to her.
That's
Yeah,
true.
no,
Welcome
bag of
back, Snow.
holdings are too valuable.
Let's pick up, shall we?
Is Raven sleeping still?
She is out like a light.
Alright.
Uh,
Well, guess what? As soon as in the middle of you discussing what you're going to do, Irina yawns, and she's also rather tired. She sits down on the chair nearest her, and she says, "I think fatigue has just hit me. I'm sorry." And then her eyes close, and she slumps back. And
That's
a
it.
moment later, each of you begin to feel very, very, very tired.
Oh, that.
System shut down.
Especially GOG?
Yes, Cog has a kind of standby mode that he goes into every night, and he begins to feel that mode activating, just as the rest of you suddenly feel your eyes close,
Mel, make
and
a
you.
And
wisdom save.
So I would say that Tayo tries to get into the bed before she inevitably falls asleep, but she
Don't
just
elves
barely
fall
gets to
asleep?
the.
Oh yeah, elves
They
can't
go
Yeah,
into
magically
oh yeah,
make
trance.
one sleep.
oh yeah,
yeah,
Like
that's
it'd
true.
be
voice
like
trance?
Cog, you go into a
Yeah,
trance.
this is different. You
Yeah,
do,
that is
in
true.
fact, feel yourself beginning to enter a trance state. Um,
I guess
and
Could I?
and
Could I do a medicine
Melano,
check?
yeah, both Melano and Hector frantically try to wake themselves up and think through what's happening, but you realize in moments that you just don't remember what you were even trying to figure out, and then
Hmm.
you're out like a light, all of
I
you.
guess Azrael before he kind of goes out, he would kind of run up or just lay sit down next to Irina.
You do. You kind of like stumble over and you fall asleep next to the chair that she has fallen asleep in. And a second later, you all awaken. You're in the exact same positions and locations that you fell asleep in. And you feel like you haven't been asleep very long.
That's Sam Hill. Did he
Okay.
spike? Did he spike the oil? How do you spike oil?
I think Hector will do a medicine check to see if he can figure out what happened.
While
Yeah, I feel
you're
like
while you're doing that, Cog, Endirian, and Hector, you all notice that something in the room has changed. Melano had been tinkering with the clock, but there are now no signs that the clock has been tampered with at all.
Oh.
Hector, you have no idea what just happened to you. It seems completely unnatural.
Okay.
does
Well,
Irina
Cog, I
seem
don't think
okay?
that was any sort of drugs.
Bella's going
Irina
to
looks like
look.
she's just woken up and is trying to knock the sleep out of her eyes.
Bella's going to try and peek underneath the door sill and see if there's any natural light peeking through the other side of the door.
You
Like,
go to do
to
that.
get a sense of how long they'd been asleep.
All right. You go to do that, and it strikes all of you that the clock is now ticking. Before, it was not. In fact, it was broken. This catches
Oh.
you particularly, Melano, because you're the one who diagnosed it as broken. It should not be ticking. And then something heavy thumps against the closet door. Moments later, the clock on the wall strikes 10. With each sonorous chime, the miniature castle's front gates swing open, unveiling an intricate iron-wrought bat whose tiny wings repeatedly unfurl and collapse. As the final chime fades, each of you feel two cold, sharp pressures prick against the flesh of your necks, which quickly give way to a strange, tingling numbness. Everyone make a Constitution save.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh
Can I?
Do I do that?
Hit the savings throw for Constitution on your sheet.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
no! I'm trying to decide
Wow.
digital dice or physical dice. Try to decide real quickly.
This is a DC 16.
I am
I
rolling a lucky.
I think digital dice is a bad
And this
omen. Don't know why. You know.
Constitution.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey, that's
Right?
lucky. I rolled a nat 20.
Oh, come on, I keep missing the button. Hold on.
That's
Constitution.
okay.
Click.
That
There, I got it.
was a nat 20 plus 5.
Okay. Anyone who did not make a DC 16 takes let's see.
Hey, out of the bat.
Anyone
wow.
who does not make a DC 16 takes 12 points of necrotic damage, and anyone who made the DC 16 takes half. So Endirian, rolling below a 17, rolling below a 16 would fail the check. A 16 or higher would succeed.
I gotta.
So I
need
got
to,
like a 12 and a 4. That's exactly like 16, right?
do I need
No,
to?
A 4 would be far below because you needed to make a 16.
Oh, well, what's the 12 mean?
that's if we
12
were
is the
rolling with
damage you
advantage
take.
or
Oh,
disadvantage.
Oh.
With
Yeah.
with a necrotic resistance, would that have the damage again?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
so what was the
So,
half damage before? Sorry, it
So
was
it was a
12 damage.
12, so half is 6, and you could take 3.
Okay, so only 3 damage of necrotic. Oh, yay!
Okay.
Only
I
6
think
for me.
This damage also reduces your maximum hit points by the same amount
Oh no.
Fun.
for
so
until
how
you
would
long
I
rest.
input the damage that I had taken?
Okay,
On
so
your sheet under hit
42.
points, there's a number.
Do I?
Override max HP 39.
So let me change this. So your hit point maximum is 33, and your current hit points are 33. What I would do is I would reduce the 33 by, I guess you took 12, right? So you would reduce it by 12 to 21. And the maximum, I would write like the new number next to it in a bracket or something.
So so what do I do now?
Okay, so you're
You're-
at 21 HP, and your max HP is now 21.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
At least
Just
until
keep-
the next long rest.
Yeah.
At least until the next long rest. Then your HP will reset back to normal.
Correct.
Anyways,
Well, I'm not able to do brackets because whenever I do the keyboard, it does like the number keyboard, not the text keyboard.
I can put that in, I guess. Let me see. 21 there.
Do I need to roll
The
for my
heck?
wife?
You just need to edit the current HP then.
Hey, Darian. After session,
Yeah.
let me help you out with getting your character sheet set up on D&D Beyond. It's a lot easier than using the Roll20
That may be
character
great.
manager.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but
actually, I think there's a plugin that he could probably use as well.
There is.
Yeah.
That's what I use. That's
Mhm.
why my rolls end up popping up in the chat.
Uh,
What I
Hector,
do.
with all this strange
Thanks for
stuff
offering
happening,
that.
Hector's gonna see if he can communicate with Einar.
I'm gonna edit your character sheet and put the hit points down to 21 for you.
Okay,
I did
hey
it.
boss, do I need to roll for
Um,
Nyx, or are we just assuming that she's so passed out that?
We're
Coma.
He wasn't
we're not
affected.
gonna have her affected by anything that happens when she's not here.
Okay.
Okay.
You try to reach out to Einar and you find that your connection is severed.
I guess Azure will quickly check the thump that was in the closet.
You open the closet
Before
door.
Yeah.
before Azrael goes in, she's going to ask him for. Can I have the mirror that you seem to use?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
sure. Here.
I guess Hector probably wasn't in the closet then.
Azure will say, I am attuned to it, but it's quite a useless effect.
Well, Mel's going to use it, and she's actually going to look at her neck. She's going to use it like an actual mirror. Check her neck.
You don't see anything there.
I think Hector will tell everyone that he's lost connection to Einar.
So is the horse dead? What does that mean?
Well, I think maybe we're on a different plane. Or perhaps this is some strange shared illusion.
That could be the case. But we're taking damage. Azure's gonna check the closet.
You open the closet, and a woman's corpse dangles from an improvised noose crafted of torn fabric, which hangs from a black iron hook at the center of the far wall. 3 feet above the hook, a wooden trapdoor hangs open on rusted metal hinges, its exit covered by a piece of heavy fabric.
Cog kind of pushes the corpse so it swings a little bit, and then like looks at Azrael and Hector, and it's kind of like, so I'm assuming that's not normal, right?
You can
Mel's going to
tell
slap Cog on the shoulder real quick. Enter. Stop the
When-
woman from swinging.
Azure will
She's going-
also enter then.
When both of you interact with the corpse, the hook bobs a little, and you can tell that actually it seems that the weight of the corpse has pulled the hook down, um, as as if a lever, as if being acting as a lever.
Cut.
You note that the woman's corpse is brown-haired, short, and freckled. She wears a plain white wool dress and apron.
Does it
Ezreal,
seem
hold the rope.
fresh?
You look over the corpse. It does look relatively relatively fresh, and you note in your inspection that there are a pair of puncture marks on her neck.
Ezreal, grab the rope and keep it weighted. Hector, I need you to hold her body real quick.
I could cast speak with that with her. I think.
I know,
casting
but
some-
let's get her off this first. Val reaches into
Right.
her bag and pulls out her hand axe, ready to cut the rope. Hector, you got a hold of her?
As much as I can. I'm not very strong.
Ezreal, help Hector.
Thaya gets a bit
Val
closer to the
takes
door
and
to
cuts
try
it.
to determine what's going on.
You would see as described.
All right.
Eladil cuts the rope. Lay her down gently.
You're successfully able to lay her on the floor.
Alright.
Azure would walk over next to the corpse and cast speak with dead.
The eyes of the corpse open, and the mouth hangs open.
Azure's first question would be, "What's your name?"
1 second. My name is Varushka.
I think we've heard of this one. I have my notes, okay.
Okay,
Not gonna lie,
okay.
I kind of depend on you. I kind of depend on you, Ika, for your notes.
Honestly, same. My notes are not that good. I just
I
kept track of
have
time.
20 pages of notes right now.
Oh my god.
More than I do.
Okay. Anybody have questions that you want to
Where are
ask?
you? Ask where she's from.
Well, that's a given. She's from Bro, I guess. Where are you from?
I was a servant of Castle Ravenloft. Until recently.
You know who killed you.
I
did.
think. Oh, okay. Oh. Okay, she answered the third question.
Questions left.
What date did you die on?
What date? Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You have access to the Barovian calendar year, right?
Yeah.
So I don't even know what the actual calendar year is, but what she tells you is a date that corresponds to roughly 470 years ago.
Okay. Okay. You can also use like real life terms. I can translate it. I have the wiki down.
Yeah, that's the best I can do. She basically tells you she died 470 years ago.
470 years ago. Wow. 470 years ago.
Well, she's looking good for being dead that long.
Well, I feel like
Well,
it's.
I believe it's the other way around. We may have been transported to the past. Or maybe this is an illusion of the past.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't really like how this place likes to yoink me around.
What were the circumstances?
Well, I mean,
with
this is
that?
the second time you've been forced into a potential dream.
I knew that Strahd von Zarovich, my king, would never let me escape. And so to deny him my death, I took my own life.
I see.
Wait,
Oh.
but
You may rest now.
I think that's the last question, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her eyes close and the mouth closes.
I guess it's worth checking out the other door.
Belle's going to
The
turn
front
to
door of the room,
Azrael.
this one.
Yeah, but Azure will hear somebody out if they talk.
Azrael, give me a boost for the trap door.
Maybe I'll just go in there. Are you sure?
Yes, give me a boost.
Okay, Azure gives her a boost.
All right. So you enter the trap door, and you come out in this room.
Oh, interesting.
One sec.
Wait, over here? Right here?
Yeah, right up in there. Something has changed here. The entranceway to these stairs and the entranceway to these stairs is bricked up. It's a solid wall now. In fact, I'll draw that area that way for you.
Okay.
All right, there is a solid brick wall here and a solid brick wall here. I guess I'll use another color to make it clear that there's a solid brick wall.
Belle's going to, what does she have? Oh, she has a hammer. She's going to use her hammer to sort of... she's going to use her hammer and her crowbar. And she's going to hit the crowbar with the hammer, trying to crack away some of the brick.
You find it unusually strong and probably very thick. It's like the stone of the castle walls, and you imagine, short of specialized tools or siege weaponry, you couldn't get through this.
Azure would climb and follow behind. Mel, sorry.
You note that the door to the lounge has changed as well. It is locked, and you can see on the outside of it that it's locked. It had a lock to begin with, but the lock has been replaced. It now has an ornate golden keyhole on it.
Belle's going to set down her hammer and crowbar, and she's going to start focus on creating thieves' tools for the door.
Okay.
Hector is going to see if he can open this door here.
That door opens just fine. You find it not locked anymore.
Okay.
And when you enter the lounge, you find that the door over here also has the same golden keyhole on the other side.
Okay. Hector will go over to it and use his lone thieves tool to try opening it.
One moment.
There's something in the way.
Belle with her lockpicks trying to unlock the door. Hector just try to open the door.
Those of you who entered here, you notice that there are some other things about it that stand out as you look around. It's slightly less run down and grimy than the first time that you saw it, and I'm going to make a short change. The door on this side that Hector's on, you see the golden lock there. On this side, you do not.
Oh. Okay.
All right. Well, Hector will try to lockpick it.
Okay. You
That's
do
pretty
not
low.
need to make a check. You do not succeed in picking it. In fact, you find that its interior is baffling. It doesn't feel right.
Oh. Okay, interesting.
You can't find anything to pick, like the tumblers aren't where they should be.
Is the portrait still there?
The portrait is still there, yeah. But again, like, there's less dust covering it than you remember.
Azure, just in case, is gonna check behind the portrait, maybe, likely.
You go to do that when suddenly you hear somebody, you hear footsteps coming down or rather up the staircase that is bricked up. Uh, a silhouette begins to loom against the stone brick wall obstructing the descending stairway. And then suddenly through it emerges from the stonework like a ghost, a cloaked, broad-shouldered man with long blonde hair, a strong, slightly crooked nose, and a thick, well-trimmed beard. He holds a fiery torch in one hand and a gleaming steel sword in the other, and he has a black feathered raven sitting perched atop his shoulder. He looks at you with surprise and he says, "What are you doing here?"
Trust me, we don't even know. Sir, we are experiencing a magical phenomena. Please excuse us.
"I'll say you are. Look at her." He points his sword at Melino. "You're some kind of outsider, aren't you?"
Well, you look at that. No one paid attention to me for the first time.
Yeah, me neither. We're closet inspectors. We found a
You're
corpse
not-
in your closet.
I don't think
Are you on
there.
that level? I think you're still in the...
Did Cog follow us? Cog's
He
in the
he
room
didn't
with Irene.
climb, and he would struggle to climb alone.
Oh, is this in a different area? Oh, okay, never mind.
It's
Where
impossible to
where
reach
are
the
the different
trapdoor. If,
rooms?
if he wanted to go up there, he could.
Oh, okay.
I think he points his sword at Melino, and then he motions you away, and he says, "Get away from that monster."
I'm sorry. What?
Is that when
Okay.
Cog? Is that when Cog just
Skeletal
kind of?
eyes glow, and the wings, her skeletal wing shadow sort of appears on the wall behind her as she hears the word monster.
I think Hector's gonna
Not a
come over
wrong time.
during.
Not a wrong
All this-
time.
Azul would
Please.
kind of look confused. Are you referring to me or her?
He pulls his sword back and he says, "Whoa, lady outsider, I don't mean you any harm, but this is clearly a vampire. I've seen a few in my day. Not to mention the demonic appendage.
Yeah, you can ignore that, but I'm not actually a vampire.
If you back away, I will slay it."
Listen, with a vampire would have stakes. And Azul kind of revealed his cloak.
Just down from. Is it?
We're vampire hunters.
Did they go
Yes,
up? Did they go
yes.
up or down?
We went up.
They went
Up
up
through here.
So
through the
Cog,
trapdoor.
Cog's like kind of
I think
big
Hector will
hulky
really come through
figure.
at this point.
Cog's big like hulky figure starts climbing up through the thing. Like, what's taking everybody so long? What's going on?
Irina shouts up, "Yes, are you okay?"
Yes, we're fine.
The man on your level looks over and he says, "More women in the castle?"
Sir, what is your name?
"My name is Ismark Antanovich. Who are you?" You hear a gasp from down the trapdoor. Irina was startled when she heard that name. Cog, you saw that. Hector, you're not hearing anything on the other side of the door you're on.
Oh, I went through that.
You went back now.
Yeah, I went back and went through that.
So you come up the trapdoor.
Now. Yeah.
The man who's identified himself as Ismark Antanovich looks at you and he says, "How many of you outsiders are there?"
That's a funny question.
More every
A
day,
lot.
it seems.
Look, I don't know what's going on here.
We're a growing group.
I don't know what's going on here. I thought I would have heard of outsiders coming to our land. I know it happens every once in a while, but usually it's quite a big deal. At any rate, I'm looking for someone. If there are so many of you, perhaps you've seen her?
Depends. Who
your name?
are you looking
Okay.
for?
Well, we have a corpse down here. We're not really sure what's up with that.
Cog, shush.
She's a loyal companion of mine. Her name is Lugdana. She's a warrior of quite some prowess. We were temporarily separated. There was some sort of a trap in one of the hallways. We found ourselves fighting with a pair of wights in the castle cellar, and the floor swept up around her and carried her away up into the heights of the castle. I've seen no sign of her yet, but I hope that she's managed to find safety somewhere up here in the towers.
What's she look like?
Lugdana, she is a shining knight, a paladin of the Morning Lord.
That's
Only-
not a descriptor.
She's almost as good with a sword as I am.
Not. Did I hear that name before?
We
If
have
you
heard
saw
this
her
name
fight, you
before.
would remember her, I trust.
Also, Faces, I'm sorry. I felt like that was a little bit too aggressive, what I said.
No.
I'm so sorry. That was just roleplay. That was just me roleplaying.
I'm okay.
I'm sorry.
I promise.
Sorry. I feel very guilty.
I'm a big boy. It's okay.
I'm so
Well,
sorry.
we haven't seen her.
We got one corpse down here, though. As
That is
previously
true.
before mentioned.
Bell size.
Is it the animated kind or the still kind?
The still
Well,
kind, but recently slayed.
She was kind of
Irina-
hanging around.
Irina comes up at this moment and she says, I'm sorry, could you tell me again who you are? He says, my lady. Yes, I will tell you anything you like. He seems quite taken with her and he steps forward and he bows a little and says, I am Ismark Antanovich of Barovia. And you? She says, Irina Koliana, but you cannot be Ismark Antanovich. Why is that, my lady? She pauses, and she looks confused at all of you, and then she says, I do recognize you. I recognize you very well. You cannot be Ismark Antanovich. He says, my lady, I am very confused. How could you recognize me? We've never met. She says, I've seen your face almost every day of my life. And then she falls silent. He looks like she might be crazy, and he turns to the rest of you and says, I'm a little lost. Perhaps you can all help me a little bit.
Do you
He
really want?
begins petting the raven on his shoulder.